Hello to all my single, sassy, sexy mummies. I hope you're all doing well out there. Okay, yes, I'm fanning myself because we still have not fixed the aircon in the car, and I'm waiting outside for Kai till he comes out of his class, and it is raining like a beach out there, to the point where I can't even open my door or I'm gonna get wet. So yeah, we need to stay cool while we do this video, and no more ums included. So today I want to talk about, are you mothering like your mother? Because I don't know about you, but there are times where I've caught myself sounding like my mum, and I'm like, no, I don't want to sound like that. I don't want to talk to Kai like that. I don't want to put those kind of thoughts in his head. But if anything, like I've said before, I'm not going to beat myself up for it. Instead, I'm going to notice these things and I'm going to change them. So one thing I don't like about my mum is how she talks about money. And I've said this to her. I don't know if she'll ever come across this, but I've said it to your face anyway, so you can't get offended. But she speaks from a place of lack. I love that she is always budgeted. She's taught me how to save, but it's always from a place of lack. And that is one thing I'm very conscious of trying not to do. So even when I speak to Kai now, if I catch myself saying certain things, I try not to say those things again. So right now, one of our things is about food, because when I tell you, I never knew. Well, I knew that he would be able to eat and eat a lot, but he's eating them more than some fully grown men out there. Remember, he's 14. He's about 5'8", going on 5'9". Very active, not as active as when he was in like primary school and stuff, but he is still quite an active boy. And he can eat. So before, a certain container of food, that could last us, like both of us, a good 2-3 days. Now I say, Malachi, there's food in the container. This boy can eat all the food in the container, and I know he's still hungry afterwards. Obviously, I'm looking at my shopping bill. I'm not getting no help or support with that. So I'm trying to explain to him, look, sometimes you just need to be a bit more conscious of what you're eating and how much you're eating. But then I noticed that certain times when I've come back from work, I don't think he's had dinner. And I have a feeling it's because I've said to him to be more conscious about his eating. Now, I don't want this boy to not be eating because I've said, don't eat out the whole damn fridge so there's no food left for tomorrow. What I really mean is, okay, at least communicate with me that something is finished so I can be prepared and know what still needs to be made. Or I know that I need to replace something because it's nearly finished. So yeah, with things like that, I'm just trying to find new ways to explain myself. So even as well when it comes to money, like recently he said to me he wants to buy a new game. Part of me doesn't want to buy him another game because, for one, he recently was able to save up for a whole brand new mobile phone. He was getting money from his dad, that man, which I can't even believe, but lucky him, good for him. I'm telling him, get as much as you can because he ain't done nothing else. And he's got some money from my dad, his granddad, and he's been saving up, and I was really proud of him. Like, well done, Kai, you saved up enough to buy yourself a new phone, because his last phone, I think he dropped it and the screen smashed really badly, but he'd been making the most of it, and I've been telling him to wait. So now I'm trying to think of the best way to angle that, because personally I don't feel like I need to be buying new games anymore. You get pocket money, you know how to save, and you have a dad that you can ask him to buy you stuff and ask him for money like you did for the phone. But I think with his dad is probably inconsistent or just takes his sweet time to be able to send him money. Anyway, we don't want to talk about that man too much. And with granddad as well, I don't think he wants to keep asking granddad, because I've said to him, don't take advantage of granddad and the fact that he will get you things. But yeah, so when it comes to the whole game thing, I'm going to consciously think of an appropriate way to discuss this and not just outright tell him no or use the words, oh, I don't have no money. Because of course I got money. I just bought this brand new necklace. Let me show you, ladies. Isn't it pretty and these new earrings, but yeah, I ain't got money. Of course I got money. It's just that certain things I don't want to spend it on, because to me a game is not important. So instead, I was going to suggest to him that maybe if he saves up a certain amount, and then I'll match it, because I don't want him thinking, for one, that... Well, actually, I don't know. So I was just about to say, I don't want him thinking that he can just come to me and I'm just going to get him anything. But at the same time, I want him to know and believe in life that he can have anything. So I'm going to have to really... I'm sure I said I wouldn't keep saying so. Or was it Okay, hopefully it was I'm going to be very thoughtful as to how I structure our conversations when it does come to money, him having things, me buying things for him, because I never want him to feel like he is lacking. And I've heard so many stories from like friends as I've gotten older, that because their parents at a certain age weren't able to get them certain things, that's when they decided to get into selling drugs, for it. Am I allowed to say? Yeah, you can say. Anyway, selling things that they shouldn't be selling, hanging around certain people, shoplifting, all of that kind of stuff. I don't want my boy to think he needs to go that route just because his mum is being stingy. Because really, sometimes that's all it is. And as well, I don't want him to be spoiled. I don't want him to think that he's always going to get things so easy. Which, again, I'm having a battle in my mind, because I want him to grow up knowing that he can get things easily in life. So I guess my point here is that if you are finding that you are mothering like your mother, and you're doing and saying stuff that you don't want to be doing, or at least get into the habit of doing and saying, think a lot more before you answer your kids' questions. Just because they ask you something, it doesn't mean that same day, there and then, you have to give them an answer. So even Malachi asked me about this game thing, and when he asked me, it was like 10 o'clock at night. That is not the time to speak to me. That's when I am shutting down, you need to go to bed, and we are not discussing a game that has no relevance in my life right now. So I said that to him. I said, look, Kai, this isn't the best time for us to be having this discussion. You know you're meant to be going to bed, so I don't know why you're choosing right now to talk about this. Let's talk about it another day. Luckily, he hasn't brought it up yet, but that's now given me time to think about an answer. And as well, I think it's important for you to think about how you do... What kind of perception of life would you like your child to have? I just noticed my lip was getting that moisture crust, which I always get, but I'm not redoing this video, so if that was there, my bad. It should be gone now. But yeah, think about the kind of perception you want your child to have on life as they get older. So I want Kai to grow up knowing that, for one, he is capable of achieving anything. 2, he is enough to have anything in this world. 3, life does not have to be hard. 4, I want him to know that money is an abundance in this world and it's not something you have to struggle for. 5, I want him to grow up feeling like he can have the best in life. So just off the top of my head, there are 5 things that I would like my son to grow up knowing and to have those sorts of perceptions. Whereas because of the way that my mum was, and I totally understand from the kind of background she was from, being a single mother, like growing up the time that she was, having minimum wage jobs, blah, blah, blah. I can understand the way she is, but then it led me to feeling like I wasn't enough, like I didn't deserve nice things, that I wasn't good enough to have nicer things, that life should be a struggle, and ultimately money isn't something that's easy to come by, which I know now is a lie, because it's bloody everywhere. And even when I was younger, me and my cheeky ass self, when she'd say, like, I'd ask for something and she'd say, oh, do you think money grows on trees? In my head, because you know in an African household, there's certain things you can't say out loud. In my head, I'd be like, but money does grow on trees. Money's made out of trees. Paper's made out of trees. So therefore, yeah, money grows on trees. What's your point? But obviously when you continue to hear something again and again and again, it gets instilled in your mind. But I'm going to leave this here because I feel like I'm just jibber jabbering now. So as always, be the best that you can be, and don't be like your mother. Take the positive sides of her and be the best mother that you can be. Okay, I'll be back again with another video. If you stayed for the entire thing, please think about pressing that like button. You can subscribe if you'd want to see more of my videos, because I am uploading more now and I'm going to keep doing it too. So yeah, have an amazing day, evening, morning, and I'll be back again soon. Be the best that you can be. Mwah.